So here's an update to catch you up on the build. I reassembled all my pistons to connector rod. And what I did was, you have to pay attention to the chamfer on the connecting rod. You can see, let me make sure it's right, yep. So this is number 2. This one sits a little bit back than 1. And the piston has a slight chamfer on it. So you have to put the chamfer towards the, on this side, which is going to hug that edge there. And then your straight edge here is just going to rub the other piston because they share the same journal here. So I just oriented that. I knew that my summit writing had to be upwards here. So I had to make sure my chamfer and my summit was oriented right. And then we just put our spiral locks in. So now we've put in our rings on. And you can see we've got 6 of them on. And pretty much I've already file fitted these rings. I already got them in bags marked. And I have on my data sheet here on the proper way to fit the rings. Pretty much this is the top of the piston. The bottom oil ring is going to go about your 11 o'clock. Then you're going to put your oil expander opening between 1 and 4. Your top oil ring is going to go right here around at 7 o'clock. Then you're going to get your top, what do you call it, sealing ring. I don't know the proper compression ring. It's going to be at 9. So your second one is at 9, and your top one's going to be over here at 3 o'clock. So they're 180 degrees from each other. I've been just working it with my hands, taking it slow, and just working them down, and I'll show you. Let me get the rings on. I'll just discuss the rings, which you got to pay attention to, and I marked everything as I came out. But rings sometimes have like a ledge on them. This is our top ring. It's shiny. You can see there's no ledge or anything. And when they have a ledge, usually they have a mark, just like our second ring here. You see that mark? That means it has to be going upwards. It's because there's a ledge. Do you see it? Let's see. Oh, goodness. Might be fuzzy. Let me clean the camera. All right, let's try again. There's a ledge. The camera ain't going to pick it up. Oh, you kind of see it. I got it upside down. You see that ledge there? And it has to go where it wipes down the cylinder to wipe that oil. But anyways, your dots go up. That dot like that. And then here's the thin rings. There's 2 of them here. Them are your oil rings, and then this is your oil expander. The first thing you have to do with your oil expander ring, you have to put it on first because it has little notches that your oil rings sit in. So put this on first. It goes on real easy, as you can see. And boom, it's around the 3 o'clock position. So now we're going to grab one of our oil expanders. We're going to start with the bottom, and we're going to put it at about like this, at the 11 o'clock position. So you can see our top ring is right there. It's that gap right here. And our bottom ring is right here. So now we're going to do our second ring. We just got to make sure our dot goes up. And boom, you see top rings open. Secondary ring. Oh, where's it at? Top ring of oil ring. Bottom ring of oil ring. Number 7 piston. All right, no, number 8. I marked the pistons originally, and then I actually had to weigh them to get everything coordinated. So the number on the rod is actually the number I'm rolling with here. So, all right, last piston. So we took the pistons and we're connecting the rods back out. I wanted to use this Dykem, pretty much die for metal. And I wanted to go ahead and mark our end caps to our connector rods. They're serialized from the factory, so you can't get them mixed up. So that's a 36-55-0. This one's a 49-951. So, but I didn't want to have to go through those numbers, so I just went ahead and marked it, let it dry, and just used an awl to scratch into it. So after that, I used the impact to 11mm 12 point and loosened up our connector rods. And I just knocked a couple of threads off, And what I did was I held the connector rod with 2 fingers like this, like gravity. And I took my brass hammer, you can use a mallet. I just tapped it to get our pins. See those pins right there to let go of the connector rod. So now we got all of these loose. And now we're ready to put our inserts in and get ready to do our assembly lube. And then we're gonna compress the rings and put this in a cylinder and torque our ARP rod bolts down, and then we will be torqued. The short block will be complete. So I wanted to do something a little different for this engine since I need some help, man. I need help from the big man. So what I did is I wrote a Bible verse on each piston, and I did it in a firing order, and I'll show you. The Bible verse is trust in the Lord completely. Ooh, over here, sorry. And do not rely on ooh, I'm missing one. Oh, yeah, rely on your opinion. Proverbs 3:5-6. So I did the whole Bible verse and the firing order, and yeah, just this engine's been one thing after another.